Welcome back to BBC World News America. While the US presidential election has become synonymous with hard-fought battles and record turnout, Russia seems to have adopted a much shorter and easier model. Just handpick a successor. In a lavish ceremony, Dmitry Medvedev officially became Russia's new president today, with his predecessor and future prime minister standing right next to him. Conveniently, they are one and the same person, Vladimir Putin. Richard Galpin reports on the unprecedented period of dual leadership that's about to take over in Moscow.
Inside the Kremlin's main palace, Vladimir Putin, the man who's ruled Russia for the past 8 years, takes his last steps as president. Forced to stand down by law, even though he remains at the peak of his popularity. But he clearly expects that all his policies will be continued.
It's important that we continue along the chosen political course. We have a strong nation, strong in spirit, and we have our strategy for the next 20 to 30 years.
His hand-picked successor, Dmitry Medvedev, is a young and very loyal ally. He's already pledged to follow closely Putin's plan for the country. But as he was sworn in, there were hints of some different priorities.
My most important task is to keep developing civil and economic freedoms. They are of the highest value in our society. And we must get people to respect the law. There is a lot to be done if we are to build a fair state.
But for these opposition parties, which took to the streets on May Day, imposing the rule of law is not the first priority. Their biggest concern is the sharp increase in the price of food. Inflation last year hit 12% and now could get much worse. There are also big challenges for the new president abroad. Russia's been flexing its muscles and in the process losing friends. Right now there's a major crisis brewing with neighbouring Georgia, with fears it could even lead to armed conflict.
But on all these vital issues of foreign and economic policy, Mr. Medvedev has said virtually nothing. Russia, it seems, is not about to change course just because it's changed its president.
Critics of the Kremlin say no one should be surprised at this.
It's the biggest mistake to think that we have new administration in Russia. It's reloaded old administration, and you will see in coming days that we have the same presidential administration, we have the same cabinet of ministers, we have the same people on top corporations, so same stuff. Same leadership, same people will stay in power. And Medvedev is one of them. He is from heart of this system, and I don't think that he has any other ideas than his colleagues like Vladimir Putin.
No surprise then that shortly after today's ceremony, Mr. Medvedev nominated Mr. Putin as his prime minister. Despite switching roles, most Russians believe it's Mr. Putin who will remain in charge of the country. Richard Galpin, BBC News, Moscow.